Hi, I'm Gabby Larsen, and I have been a School of Rock student for almost 3 years now. I joined in August of 2018, and my last performance with School of Rock will also be in August of this year, 2021. In my time there, I have done a total of 8 shows. I'm currently in the middle of my 8th show, and I'm a 2-time house band student as well. School of Rock is kind of confusing from an outsider's point of view, so my goal today is to teach you guys a little bit more about what School of Rock is and what we do. So one thing that I've heard a lot, or I've heard talked about a lot, is School of Rock the movie versus the corporation. And the corporation came first. There's a lot of, I don't want to say controversy around it, but there's been a lot of discussion around it. And the first School of Rock was actually opened in, I believe it was 1998, whereas the movie came out in, I believe, 2004. So the corporation did in fact come first. The movie is loosely based off of the corporation. What we do each year is we have 3 different shows. There is the fall show, the fall season I should say, the spring season, and then the summer season. Both the fall and spring seasons have 2 different shows. We have the preview show and the final show, versus summer only has one and it's the final show. So each season there's numerous different shows that students can pick from. In the past, I've been in shows like Nirvana, Led Zeppelin, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Who. There was one season called Mix and Mash, which was really interesting. And then I've been in a show just based off of music that Dave Grohl has, or bands and music that Dave Grohl has been a part of, which was also super cool. So Rookies is the youngest level. They're super duper cute. They all typically play different instruments to just kind of get a feel for what they like the most. Rock 101 is typically 8 to 12, although if you have mastered all of the skills for Rock 101, you can move up to the performance program before the age of 12. And then performance program is 12 to 18. Once you've hit the performance program level, you are eligible, as soon as you turn 13 and have been at School of Rock for at least, I believe it's 6 months, you are eligible to audition for house band. At each School of Rock location, they typically have auditions for house band in the winter time, and those students are the best of the best at each school. One super duper fun thing that house band gets to do typically on normal years is we normally always go to Summerfest. Summerfest is a real music festival where actual bands and artists play each summer. Unfortunately, the past 2 years we haven't been able to go because of COVID, or should I say last year, and then this year we are not going because of COVID. But I did get to go the year before, and it is by far my favorite part of School of Rock was being able to go to Summerfest. One super duper cool thing about Summerfest is that the same stages that School of Rock students perform on during the day, actual bands and artists perform on at night. So the same stages that Carmel and Fishers and all the other schools from around the world were playing on during the day. Bands like, I think Jimmy Eat World was there the year that I went, and I think Billie Eilish was there that year. So as I just mentioned, there are locations all around the world, which was a super cool thing about Summerfest is I got to meet so many cool people from everywhere. In the same dorms we were staying at, I believe a few floors below us were people from Portugal and Brazil. There was Washington State. There were people from California I talked to. People from genuinely all over the country and all over the world came for School of Rock to perform at Summerfest, which was so cool. Every week for School of Rock, each student has their lesson and their band rehearsal. So I take vocal lessons. So every Wednesday I have my vocal lesson, and then later that night I also have my band rehearsal. Band rehearsals and lessons take place on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. House band rehearses on Saturdays, and also some people take their lessons on Saturdays. The instruments that you can take lessons for at School of Rock are vocals, keys, guitar, bass, and drums. But sometimes there are instruments needed that we don't offer lessons for. For example, in the soul group this season, there's a lot of saxophone, so they actually have someone who goes to School of Rock that also just so happens to know how to play the saxophone, so he gets to play that for School of Rock as well. By far my favorite part about being a School of Rock student is performing, and playing at gigs and things like that. As a School of Rock house band student, I've been able to play at a lot more gigs and a lot more places, but some of the venues and things that they find are just so cool, and I'm so glad that I joined School of Rock in 2018. Even when I would mess up on stage, like, I feel like it's just such a good learning experience, not just for School of Rock, but also when speaking in front of groups, being able to bounce back and fix your mistakes on the spot. And I really think that the longer I've been at School of Rock, the more confident I've become, but also the more I feel free to express who I am instead of who people expect me to be. And I think that's super duper cool how they've helped me grow as a person and as a musician. So that was just a little bit of School of Rock in a teeny tiny little nutshell, but there is seriously so much more that I wish I could talk about, but I can't fit in this video. If you're interested in joining, which I highly recommend you join, joining School of Rock has definitely been the best decision I have ever made. School of Rock is located just at that intersection of 126th Street and Rangeline Road. The address is 626 South Rangeline Road. I would highly recommend you join. Thank you.